Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So in this video,
She might not have told you this, but my daughters do not respect men. So I'm letting you know that now, and I'm not joking when I tell you that, brother. And they have mouths when it comes to them getting into disagreements and engagements with men, and they will verbally put some lashings on you, brother, because they don't respect men. I'm just giving it to you forefront, brother, so you know what.
in the comment section, there was a lot of men who were like, yeah, he's a pushover. It's probably because their mother is like that, and so on and so on. And I couldn't help but laugh. And I'm like, what if he actually raised them to be like that? And besides, this also helps. You come into the house, you're being told these things about this lady, and this is where you will know if this man is one of those men who are willing to do right by you. Because when you hear things like this, for some men, they are not going to come back. Okay, so the dad just told me that the daughter is not respectful, XYZ. They'll feel a type of way about it because of their stupid ego and pride. Okay, so they are not going to come back, which is a good thing. And the ones who were trained well by their own parents, they will laugh about it because they will know the kind of women they are dealing with. And that's my humble opinion about the whole situation. You may think otherwise. Like, yeah, my daughters may not be respectful, quote and unquote. They respect people, but they are not going to be respectful because I know what that means. I understand when a man says he wants a respectful woman, what he means by that. When a man says he wants a nice woman or a nice girl, I know what that means. When a man says he wants a good girl, I know what that means. And I'm not going to train my daughter to be either of those things. Okay, my daughter will talk back. Yes, my daughter will hold you accountable and I'll teach her how to also take accountability. Okay, my daughter will be all those things, but the one thing that she's not going to be is respect people who have not earned her respect, or a man who has not earned her respect. That's it. Done. And if you feel a type of way about it, like, bye. Yeah, she will be fine. She would also understand that being single is okay. So you're just an option. Yeah, that's it. You can go. All right.
She might not have told you this, but my daughters do not respect men. So I'm letting you know that.
Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I hope y'all go back and watch that video. But for those who are wondering why it was important for y'all to meet Dad, this is why. Dad would have told you everything you needed to look out for, exactly who it was you were trying to date. I hope he listened.
I told you this, but my daughters do not respect men.
Now, of course, this came across my FYP because it's viral. But when I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, I could see Chris saying that to some men in the future about our daughters. And while I don't know the intention of this dad, I do know that if Chris were to ever communicate this to a man in the future about our girls, it would be because he's letting him know that your manhood alone is not going to afford you respect from my daughters. We have raised them with a healthy dose of misandry, and so your male identity alone is not going to get you respect. We have not raised them under some patriarchal standard that men are somehow to be defaulted to simply because of their manhood. And if you want respect, not only are you going to have to give it, but you're going to have to be worthy of it. So I'm actually here for it, Dad.
Growing up, there was friends and family that said I was disrespectful. And I realized soon after, I'm so glad that my parents made me disrespectful, because what they really meant was I had a voice, that I could actually have conversations and disagree with my parents openly. And I could have an argument, meaning debate on even consequences. Like, Mom, Dad, I didn't think that I deserved this because this is why I did this. And if I was right and I could make the argument and I could explain myself and they saw that there was error in their ways, they actually apologized to me. And so what that taught me was I have a voice in my home, so I have a voice outside of my home. I am a human being worthy of being heard in my home, so I'm worthy of being heard outside of my home. That I'm valued as a person, and that I can authentically be who I am, right? I don't have to code switch in front of my parents. And I know that is something that a lot of people, especially who are ethnic and cultured and Black, have to do. And I want that to be different for us, right?
I don't want my daughters to be good. I want them to be unshakable. I'm not here to raise role followers who stay quiet just to keep the peace. I'm not interested in raising girls who make everyone else comfortable at their own expense. That good girl conditioning, it teaches obedience over intuition, compliance over courage, and it puts our daughters in danger. I want my girls to take up space, to ask hard questions, to say no without guilt, and to walk away without fear. I want them to feel like a threat, not to good people, but to anyone who tries to manipulate, shame, control, or silence them. As someone who was raised to be a good girl, I know where that path leads. I stayed quiet when I should have screamed. I tolerated things I should have walked away from because I didn't know I could. I won't pass that silence down. So no, I'm not raising girls who color inside the lines. I'm raising girls who draw their own boundaries in permanent ink.
Call out the disrespect even if it's awkward. Call out the disrespect even if it's awkward, because they had no problem disrespecting you out loud. You should have no problem standing up for yourself out loud. Don't giggle. Don't giggle. Don't giggle with them. Ain't shit funny. Ain't shit funny. No. I've started to just realize that you really have to give it to people exactly how they give it to you. And if they can't take it, well, you made your bed.
I'm in my 40s and I want to share with you the dating advice I wish I knew when I was in my 20s. First, stop being nice to men. We are too nice to men and they're not nice enough to us. Stop worrying about his feelings. Number 2, don't be a good girl. Men say that they want a good girl, but they really don't. Men don't know what they want. They say a lot of things, but they do the opposite. Be you. In fact, be a little mean. Number 3, which ties into both of these, don't be accessible to them all the time. I know we think that they'll like us more when we always answer their phone calls and we're there for them and we'll drop everything when they need us. And I wish I can say that that's true, but it's not. They think of you as less and as not as important when you do that. They'll take advantage of your kindness and it won't give you points in their head. Maybe at first they might seem like they like it, but they really don't. They want someone that's a little mean to them and that's not going to be there every time they call. They're going to respect you and your time when you're not always available to them. Number 4, really quickly, always have your own life. Always have your own hobby so that you're not fixated on him and thinking of him all the time. The reason why most women are obsessed with men is because they don't have their own life, respectfully. So get a life, get a hobby, learn some languages, learn a craft, learn something fun so that you're not stuck on him all day.
You know, the reason why women don't respect men anymore is because what I notice is men nowadays, all they do is match the female energy. All they do is match our energy. So it's like, as a woman, a feminine woman she's looking for and she's attracted to a masculine man. She's attracted to masculinity in general. So if as a man, if a lot of these guys out here, they just matching the energy of women, it's like, I can't really be attracted to you. If I'm a feminine woman, I can't be attracted to you as a man if I see you as a bitch, okay? And that's the reason why a lot of women are not attracted to a lot of these guys nowadays, is because we see you as a bitch, because that's how you act, okay? That's how you present yourself, okay?
One of the best pieces of advice I have ever heard is, do not let anyone get comfortable disrespecting you. Don't let them get comfortable. Don't let them think it's okay, because a lot of the time we just want to keep the peace. We feel a bit awkward when we hear a comment we don't like, when someone's saying something we don't really like. We kind of just let it go, right? Because we don't want to make a big deal of it. We don't want to make the situation uncomfortable by confronting them or sticking up for ourselves or saying something. However, every time you do that, you are telling this person indirectly it's okay to disrespect you. They feel very comfortable doing it because there's no consequences. There's no one saying anything. They can just say whatever about you or to you, and they get away with it because you're not going to do anything about it. And I know it's really annoying when you say, oh, I didn't like what you said, and they're like, oh, it's just a joke, it wasn't a big deal, or it's just a throwaway comment, like you're the one making a big deal out of it. Like, they gaslight you and make you feel like you're overreacting, you're being too sensitive, and really you should let it go. Of course they're going to do that because that works for them. That works for their agenda, and they don't want to admit that they're wrong. But remember, trust your gut. If you feel like something's off, it is off. If you feel disrespected, they are disrespecting you, and you need to speak up for yourself. Now, whether you do this passively, just to kind of drop a little comment and let them know that you see them, and you don't want to outright be like, I don't like you said that, why did you say that to me? That feels like too confrontational, or it's like a work situation where you have to be a bit clever about it. That's up to you. You know the situation. Me personally, I would pull that person aside and call them up on it and let them know that's not okay. Either pull that person aside and speak to them one-on-one, or if they're happy to disrespect you in front of a group of people, you can call them out in front of a group of people. However you like. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like you're the one making the scene or you're the one creating an issue. They created the issue and you're letting them know it's not going to slide. And if you're worried about, oh, I don't want to cause a scene, I don't want to offend them, and then they come at me or they misunderstand me or whatever it might be, that's not for you to worry about. That's for them to worry about. You don't need to worry about making them comfortable or making other people comfortable. Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable in the situation you've been put in? If the answer is no, stick up for yourself. Why would you just laugh it off or ignore it or brush it under the carpet to keep the peace, make other people comfortable and happy, and yet you're suppressing your own emotions? You don't feel good about it and you're letting that sit on your chest, and you're going to go home and not feel good about the situation. Absolutely not. Get it off your chest and say it with your chest. Stand up for yourself, say what you have to say, and if that makes them uncomfortable, good. They need to know that speaking to you that way or treating you that way is going to result in them feeling uncomfortable, and they will not do it again. They will at least think twice before saying anything about you or coming at you. And if they decide to go behind your back and talk to other people, or she did this, she did that, she called me out on this or whatever it was, don't worry about it. Don't worry about what they're saying about you. That's none of your business. How you feel and what you think about yourself is your business, is what is most important. I much rather prefer being respected in a situation than liked. I do not care if people like me, dislike me. That's their own opinion. They're entitled to it, and I don't care for it. I don't want to know. I don't care if you like me, you don't like me. That's your business. That's how you interpret the world or interpret me and perceive me, and that's your own opinions to have. I do not care. You don't have to like me, but you will respect me. If you want to be around me, you want the privilege of my company or to be able to speak to me, you're going to be respectful, because that's how I'm carrying myself. That's how I'm treating you, and I expect the same back. And anything less than that will call for some kind of confrontation. And I know the word confrontation, a lot of people associate it with being aggressive or starting an argument or causing a problem. Absolutely not. You are confronting a situation. You are standing up for yourself. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Daughters are no longer raised to be wives. They're raised to be people. And some people are mad about that. Who said that? Who said that? Actually, Wolf Sub Kitten said that.
She might not have told you this, but my daughters do not respect men. So I'm letting you know that.
Hey, folks, Dream from Machete yet again. This kind of made me sad. You know? Seems like a well put together guy, but his daughters don't respect men. You're the man of that house. The first person a daughter is supposed to respect is the father and the head of the household. That's what she should be doing. Otherwise, he's just a soft-ass man or male feminist, or his wife runs the house. And he's warning this dude, saying like, dude, I've went through trauma with these heifers. Go somewhere else and find somebody nicer. Because they don't respect men. And you know what the funny thing is? The only way these women are going to get men is they have to go for soft men like their father. No, thank you. My daughters are going to respect me. Period. They will be laughing, kikiing and shit while I warn the dude that's about to, try to get in a relationship with him how they are. Yes, 100%. But they will respect men just like I'm teaching my boys how to respect women. And they're just laughing in the background. Someone get this man some help. That man has been emotionally and spiritually beaten for years. Because if you were able to just tell this to a man, he's either proud of it or he's scared for that man, because he knows that those girls will break the spirit of that man the way he's been broken. Fuck that noise.
Yeah, and he's exactly who I was talking about. That there are some men who will come about, who will hear this and feel a type of way about it. He just quickly assumed that the man is going through a lot and he needs help. Help from what? I raised my sons to respect women. Really? Did you raise your sons to respect women? Did you? And because what this is giving to me is You raise your sons to control women. Okay? And that's why you are irritated by this. You think he's a simp. You think he hasn't got any backbone, but maybe he raised his daughters to be that way too, because he doesn't want them to be pushovers. He doesn't want them to fall into that role, of being this subjugated women, or subjugated wives, or controlled wives, or wives that are put in their place, and so on and so forth. He didn't want that for his daughters, so he taught them to talk back. He's taught them to have a backbone, but you saw that and you thought, no. So the question is, why do you feel that way? And that is what we are talking about here. And that is that man's point. Okay? They're going to talk back. They're going to hold you accountable. And you may not like it. And they have some maths on them because they're going to put you in your place. Okay? You're not going to come here and play and do whatever you want and get away with it. This is not the house. This is not the place where we do that. We don't do that here. Okay? You're not going to come here and disrespect my children, my daughters. Okay? You can't do that here because I've trained them to talk back. At least that's my interpretation of it. And if you feel a type of way about it, that's on you. Okay? Like I said, bye. Okay? Now, I don't know what kind of daughters or women you're going to find for your sons. Yeah? But I'm sure the kind of women you want for your sons are the kind of women who are quote and unquote respectful. Submissive. Humble, traditional. The kind of dynamic where the husband is the head of the house, and when he says yes, nobody can say no. He runs a tight dictatorship and so on and so on. That's the kind of vibe you want for your sons, right? And that's why this irritated you. But yeah, since we're assuming, I'm also assuming. I'm going to be one of those parents. Yeah, I'm going to be one of those parents. I'm not raising her to take care of a man. I'm not raising her to bend backwards for a man. I'm not raising her to be a nice girl. I'm not raising her to be a good girl. I'm not raising her to be a respectful girl, all quote and unquote. Okay? Because we know what that means. We know what that means when they say they want a good girl, they want a respectful girl, they want a nice girl, and so on and so forth. It's never a good thing, because they think you're an idiot. They think you're an idiot. And if you don't have anybody telling you that that's the truth, oh, look at her, she's a good girl, because you're doing everything right by them. When they won't do the same for you, because they know if they were in your shoes, they would think of themselves as idiots. Okay? But they will want you to be like that for them. They want you to be quiet, submissive, quote unquote, don't talk back, respectful, and so on and so forth. And that's what they preach about. I want my wife to be respectful. Modern women are not respectful enough, and so on and so forth. But you don't do anything that earns you the respect. You're not moving like a leader. You don't move like that. Okay? Nothing about you says leader. Okay? Nothing about you says this man deserves respect. Okay? But they will come in full force, wanting respect, wanting submission, wanting you to cook and clean and take care of the house and do everything. But if the roles were reversed, and they were in your shoes, trust me, they won't do any of those things. Most of them don't respect you anyway. They are looking for the easiest person they can use. They are looking for the easiest woman they can take advantage of, the one who makes their life easier, the convenience, and so on and so forth. And that's what this thing is all about. Once you realize that, the sooner you realize that, the better for you. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here. You leave your thoughts and opinions about this in the comments, and I'll see you again in another video. Take care of yourselves and one another. Bye.